Hello, hello, how are you? Remember, we were already in this park. It was an early spring. Today is August 31st. I'm back and I always loved this gorgeous park. It's wonderful. But today I want to speak about something that is the last thing I really want to talk about. And that's what's going on these days in a Catholic church. You probably heard already about Pennsylvania. Almost 2 years of finding of what happened to many adults when they were kids, molested by the priests, Catholic priests. 1,000 children, 300 priests, and of course this is only there. Not everybody came out to tell the truth for 1 million reasons. Some of them not brave enough. Some of them don't want their families to even know, and they're still suffering inside. Or some of them became drug addicts, serious alcoholics, or committed suicide. It's a wonderful show, serial on Netflix. It's called The Keepers. I watched the whole thing. Days and hours. Very interesting, to tell at least. And it was about one nun who was an English teacher in Baltimore, Maryland, Kathy Sesnick. And she kind of knew from the students, the girls, the teenagers, that they've been molested by the priest there, and one of them principal, who even had a gun to keep them quiet. I'm not gonna go into details what was going on there because it's too much. Definitely not for everybody, not for the public, but you kind of find out in details, if that's even possible, on an intellectual level, because I can only imagine the emotions, the physical pain because of that abuse. And when on November 7th of 1969, Sister Catherine Sesnick suddenly disappeared because she was saying, I'm gonna go to the police and I'm gonna tell what's going on. She was killed. Still is a great mystery around this. But if you can watch The Keepers, if you're interested in this subject, it's really good. But really, I want to talk quickly about pedophilia, because I think it's some kind of misunderstanding when it comes to this war. Pedophilia is not a crime. Child molestation is. And the difference, pedophilia is basically a fantasy of thinking about an adult having sex with a child. Is this bad? Is this wonderful? It's horrible. But as long as they don't act on it, it's just a fantasy, and that's pedophilia. So the person may have videos, pictures of children and something done to children, but it didn't engage him or himself in something like this, so, or herself. That's okay. When they act on it, we're talking child molestation, and that's a crime. So usually, of course, when somebody was engaged in the act of molestation, is a pedophile, because who else would come up with this kind of stuff? And I don't want to repeat too many times, because I know I have many very young people watching me, so I don't want to be too graphic, but I thought it's important to know the difference. I really feel that with all this Me Too movements and everything what's going on, it's time to straighten out this whole situation with church. Mea culpa, mea culpa, mea culpa, and you know what? The church should do the right thing. Are there beautiful, wonderful, wise priests? Of course. And that's even more important. It should be more important to them, to those good ones, to be clean of this situation and stop covering stuff. Yeah, you would think, right? And those who, by the way, were abused should tell the truth. You see, at the end of The Keepers on Netflix, this woman, Jane Doe, nickname, and she's showing her safe, you know, her face is no problem there. She said very, very wise words. If the kids or the adults or the kids' parents would come out with this truth of a child abuse, a child molestation, a lot earlier, many, many, many people's lives would be saved. And in this case, it's just too many children and too many adults, too many families that are broken to the core, and that should never, ever, ever be happening. That should be punishable by law to the fullest extent.